Next. Hi. Yeah, I'm here to apply to be a YouTuber. Yes, influencer name, please. It's Jimmy the Barista. Right, okay. Jimmy the Barista. What's this I see about your first video being an Aeropress video? Oh, yeah. Aren't there like hundreds of Aeropress videos? Mine'll be different, you know? I have this like recipe I created, and I don't know, I think it'll be different. It'll be good. Look, you know? What about the silent video that you did 2 years ago? Yeah, that got some pretty good stats. We need more of that, right? Why don't you stick to that? Yeah, I don't know, I wanna try something different. You know, something that represents me, shows a bit of my personality. You know what, you seem like a nice kid. Why the heck not? I'm gonna approve you. Really? There you go. Dude, thank you so much. Oh, this means so much to me. God, good. Well, best of luck to you. I won't let you down, okay? Thank you. Good kid. Doesn't know what he's doing, but good kid. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and I do mean welcome back because I actually have one video before this that I filmed in 2020, 2 years ago. If you haven't yet, check out my Instagram page. I'm gonna put it here. Today, we are going to get into the Aeropress. I really wanted to talk about the Aeropress because it's such a versatile brewer, and what I want to share with you is a new recipe that I've been working on. The Aeropress was actually invented in 2005 by a man with the name Alan Adler. Needless to say, this has become a massive brewer, and it's what we in the coffee industry call an immersion brewer, and more specifically, it's called a pressurized immersion brewer. What makes it pressurized? Oh gosh. Oh, that is not a good sound. What makes it a pressurized immersion brewer is actually this piece right here. This piece kind of like creates this vacuum seal. Think of it as kind of like those water guns that you would fill up in the pool, and then you would like squirt the water out and you'd hit your friend Frank in the face. Do kids even, Frank isn't a name for a kid. It's like Eddie. You squirt Eddie in the face and you're like, screw you, Eddie, you took my girlfriend, man. So imagine that. That's what this is. It's a pressurized brewer. You basically squirt the water out of it, and that's what turns into your coffee. So with all that, let's get into the Aeropress recipe. For this recipe, you're gonna need your Aeropress, you'll need some filters, you'll wanna get a scale, a way of reading your measurements. You're gonna want a kettle. I'm using a gooseneck kettle, but you don't have to. You can use any way of getting that hot water into this Aeropress. A lot of people also really like taking this camping because you really don't need a kettle for this. You'll need a grinder, and the nice thing about this recipe is we're gonna be grinding coarsely today, and then you'll need your coffee. This coffee is from Huckleberry Roasters. It's a Guatemalan that is naturally processed with black honey processing. Now, the thing that I really like about this recipe is that I found that it really works well for lightly roasted coffees all the way to dark roasted coffees. So the dose today is gonna be 18 grams of coffee. The yield is going to be 100 milliliters of water in the brewer. That's gonna be pushed out and then bypassed 85 grams to 100 grams. So you'll end up with a total yield of 185 to 200. And then for the time, it's gonna be done at 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Your temperature is gonna be 86 degrees Celsius, which is about 186, 187 in Fahrenheit. All right, so let's weigh out 18 grams of coffee. So the first thing I always do before any brew, especially if this is my first brew of the day, is I'll actually weigh out 3 grams of beans and I'll run it through my grinder. This is called purging. The reason I like doing that is because there's probably coffee in your grinder from the day before. So here we're gonna put 3.5 grams of coffee. Sweet, let's weigh out our coffee. And now this base that I'm using here, it's actually a little base or like a dosing cup that's included with the Fellow Stag. If you are interested in seeing me brew on that, let me know in the comments. So we weighed out our 18 grams, and now what I like to do is something called RDT, or the Ross droplet technique. I have this little like spritzer bottle that I got for like 50 cents at Walmart or something like that. Do people shop at Walmart. Target. I went to Target. I don't know, whatever makes me seem less bougie. Dollar store. You can get this at the dollar store. And essentially all you do is you take this guy, you spritz some water on the beans. Basically, when you grind your coffee, it just means that there's gonna be a little less static or like floating grinds that maybe happen after you grind out your coffee. You're just gonna see less of that. So if you're wondering what this grind size looks like, this is kind of the consistency that you're looking for. I would almost say that it looks like a sea salt. So at this point, I'm gonna have you guys push the piston in between 3 and 4. And the reason we do that is because we're gonna have a really small amount of water in here, and I wanna make sure that there's as minimal amount of space in there for me to have to push against. Get your single dry filter and put it in the plastic cap. There's no need to pre-wet it. We're gonna do the dry filter recipe. I'm gonna fill the brewer with 100 grams of water. Then what we're gonna do really quickly is dump in our grinds before the water starts to cool in the Aeropress. And then here we wanna quickly start our timer and start incorporating. And I'm gonna do 15 seconds of stirring clockwise. And this is gonna be kind of like a semi-aggressive stir. And then after those 15 seconds, we're going to go counterclockwise. The goal of this is to get all the grinds totally saturated and incorporated with that water. And then once we reach 30 seconds, we'll stop and let it sit there for a bit. Okay, now we're getting close to a minute. At 1 minute, we're gonna take this filter and this cap, set it on top. We're gonna take this guy off and we're just gonna move front, back, left to right till 1 minute and 5 seconds. And then what I do here is I actually push the piston down so that the top of the coffee is at the number 1. So now we're gonna let our coffee sit until about 2 minutes. Once we reach 2 minutes, we're gonna flip it over and push it. At this point, you have to be really careful of the pressure that's built inside of the Aeropress. What can happen when you flip over is that they'll actually come apart. But now what we wanna do is from 2 minutes to 2 minutes, 30 seconds, push really slowly, really carefully. So now I'm at 2:15, still pushing, wanna try to get all the water out of there until you hear a hiss. Great, so we finished pushing at 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Now we will take our Aeropress off and we'll have this little bit of diluted coffee. Now, if you were to just drink this on its own, it'd probably be pretty strong. So what I like to do is put it in a cup and then fill up to 100 extra milliliters of water. In my testing, I've actually found that anywhere between 70, 75 to 100 will probably be your best tasting coffee so that it's not too watery. You wanna give it a little stir so that you can incorporate all that coffee into the water. And then I like to let my coffee sit for about 10 minutes because I feel like when you drink cooler coffee, you get to taste more of those flavor notes. All right, so we've cleaned everything up a little bit. It's been sitting for about 5 to 10 minutes. So now this is probably my least favorite part of YouTube videos because how are you supposed to know if I'm telling the truth or not? I don't know. You go ahead and try this recipe at home, but I'm gonna try it. I'm really excited to see how this tastes. Make sure you get that slurp in there. I'm so about this recipe. I think it's really good. I've tried a lot of different Aeropress recipes and I don't know, I feel like this one has really nice sweetness, really nice clarity. First of all, I really like doing the bypass method. I think it's super good for creating this concentrated beverage that then you kind of dilute with the amount of water that you like. Again, depending on your coffee, you might want to dilute it more or less. And then if you notice a little bit of inconsistency in flavor, if you're not getting what you want, try adjusting your grind size. If maybe things are a little bit too muddied, I would suggest maybe coarsen it a little bit. Maybe you've gone a little bit too fine. Or if it just tastes too watery, try a finer grind size. But if you do try this at home, I know that there's gonna be things that you guys are gonna tweak that are gonna make this better. Make sure to come back next time for the next video. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Can you even hear this?
Very clearly.
Cool. I wanted to do this whole entire thing in one take. What's up, guys? Nope.